things that you're hearing about Ian Shefflin, and how exciting is it for that project for him at tight end?
I'm excited to be around him. I mean, we haven't been able to do much with him this summer. I'm just trying to hear from the other guys what they think about him and all that. But it sounds like he's picking some things up and know he can be an asset. So I'm excited to have a guy like that for sure.
What is it about his skill set, his mentality that translates well to football?
I mean, I just think the way he played basketball, right? Kind of a gritty. Obviously, he's big. He's huge for our sport. Saw some of his high school tape and things that he did in high school. So, some things aren't going to be totally foreign to him or new to him. I'm excited to kind of really see it with my own eyes.
Playing football at this level is hard. What's realistic for Ian Shefflin? Is it realistic that he can be impactful?
Oh, yeah, I think for sure. I mean, there's a handful of guys I can think about right now in the last 5-10 years or so that have kind of had a similar story. He played basketball and went and played football for a year and, caught balls or sacked the quarterback or whatever it is. Playing tight end, defensive end is what you typically see them play. So I think, how much, a lot of it's just going to be what he can handle, and what makes sense for us because we got a lot of other good players around him. So that'll be the fun part for us as coaches.
Where can this offense go with a
I think the sky's the limit. That's what we're preaching to our guys is I just think there's so much more there, for him, for us offensively, and for our team. There's just so much there, and there's still so much room for growth. So that's what's exciting. So that's what these guys are chasing. They're chasing that.
Coach, with some time removed from last season, what did you see as like maybe the strength of that offense last year? Where did you see that? Okay, we can maybe grow in this area this year.
Every team's different. I know we're returning a lot of guys, but you got some new pieces and some critical places where there's some opportunity for some different people. So, it's always a different team, even though you're returning a bunch of faces that have played a lot of snaps together. But I think the different parts of the season, there were some different strengths a year ago. And so I think now kind of understanding what our identity is a little bit earlier, figuring out some of these new pieces, like I mentioned, with the opportunity that they're going to have, I think that's going to be the critical thing to kind of identify early.
Coach, you mentioned there's still being a lot there from last year to this year. What have you learned as a coordinator on how you can unlock those new potentials year after year to kind of take that offense to the next step?
I just think it's for us as coaches, I think it's always, again, trying to identify, like, what do we do really, really well? Who are your players? Who are your playmakers? What do we do really well? Maybe what are our deficiencies, that you can hopefully strengthen or stay away from and not put yourself in a bind. So I think those are things that you probably pick up on a little bit more on as you do this and as you play call and all those things.
History says freshman running backs can have some success. What have you seen from Gideon and what can he do for this team this year?
Yeah, those guys, big opportunity in that room. From what I've seen with Gideon in the spring, I thought he had a really, really good spring. I think it's a freshman that's learning everything from a mental standpoint of handling what we require from that position. But skill set wise, his demeanor, his presence, I think I've said this before, like he's just a kid that's not really fazed by much. I think you can really coach him, and I think he really listens and wants to learn, wants to be really, really good. So he's got a lot of the intangibles on top of his skill set that we love. But the intangible part was what sticks out to me thinking about his spring.
Coach, everybody knows the level of production that you have coming back at wide receiver this season. But guys like Tyler, Brown, and Cole Turner, guys who have battled injuries, but have shown glimpses of greatness. What can we expect of them to contribute this season?
Yeah, that's how we want this room. We want a deep room where you can rotate guys. It's a long season. And, that's my background. That's what I came from offensively, just what I got brought up in is you have 6-8 guys that play a lot and you rotate them a lot. And what that does is it allows you to be fresh more throughout the game so that you're strong in the fourth quarter when it really counts to finish. And then from a big picture standpoint of being fresh as much as you can throughout the season. And so that's what we have a chance to do with that group. and that's definitely my expectation with that group. So excited about all those guys. I think it can be a really deep room, where we can have depth that we truly truly trust, and a bunch of dependable guys that can win some one-on-one matchups or be in the right spots, make plays. So that's the expectation from that room for sure. What's that? That's a great question. I mean, obviously, I think we got some explosive people. I think we've got good variety. Like, I think we got a mixture in that room. We don't just have the same guy over and over again, so I like that about our room. So yeah, I mean, I think it's explosive. I think it's a hungry room. I think it's a room that has matured a lot, just since my time here at Clemson. I think it's a very mature room, and I think our leadership in that room is probably as good as it's been definitely since I've been here. Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. I think his growth, his maturity, his development. Obviously he's had a good skill set all along, but I mean, this guy's gotten better and better and better, and that's a testament to Clemson and how we pride ourselves in development. But it's a huge testament to him and his individual work. So I'm super proud of him and couldn't be more excited for Antonio.
Coach Riley, heading into the season, you're setting goals for the team, especially on the offensive side. How granular are you getting? Like, we need to average this many points per game, number of yards in the passing game.
None of that. None of it. I mean, we have things from explosives to completing the ball at a high rate, not necessarily yardage and touchdowns and all this stuff that if we take care of kind of the more important things, when you really break it down, those things will take care of themselves, right? So not bogging our players down with just so much information and stats and just all this stuff that really doesn't matter to kids. That's what I think we do well here, and that's what we're preaching to our guys.
How much does your relationship with Cade off the field, just about Cade the human, help your relationship?
I think it's huge. I mean, obviously that dynamic and that relationship is one of the more dynamic relationships in sports, I would say. And so, yeah, I mean, we have a great relationship. I think just the trust level and being comfortable when I have to get after them or correct them, critique them, coach them. I mean, all those things, I just think it helps build the trust factor. And so anyway, I think we got a strong relationship, and I think he's at a point where he kind of knows what I'm about to say before I even say it, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at now.
Talk about his growth from his sophomore year to his junior year. It's pretty significant. How much more room is there to keep taking strides? Are they giant strides now, or are they just smaller?
No, I mean, I think there's still a big area of growth. I really do. And I think he knows that. And again, that's what we're all chasing. That's what he's chasing. And, I just think the sky's the limit for that kid. I really do. And so I think there's a lot of room for improvement for sure. I mean, yeah, that's the X factor, right? I mean, when you have an element like that a quarterback can have +1 runs or just create on his own or zone read or whatever it is, that's a significant problem for defenses, and it's going to help you throughout the season. So, I mean, he's a guy that made a big jump from year 1 to year 2 just with the run game part and what we asked him to do. And I just think physically, as he's matured and gotten better as well, that's been a big contributing factor to that. So, I think he's in a much better spot physically, even just as I see him around now, than he was a year ago. And as he should be, he's a year older, he's used to it. Putting on weight and strength and all those things are going to help him.
Do those expectations for him in the run game vary year to year based on personnel, or is it kind of set standard year after year for him?
I mean, some of it is always going to come back to personnel and kind of what you have and what you need. But I think the big picture is, hey, we need this guy to be healthy and start for us every game, right? So, I mean, there's a fine line of your quarterback taking a bunch of hits if you're asking him to run the ball. So you got to be mindful of that. So you got to pick your spots and utilize him the best way you can, but also keep in mind the big picture. If you got to keep this guy healthy for the length of the season.
You talked about the jump from year 1 to year 2. Can we talk about that particular freshman to junior, what you're expecting from them?
Yeah, I mean, I know they had great years as true freshmen, but I just think it'll be night and day different for them. I think physically they're already in a much better place than they were a year ago, and they would say the same thing. I mean, that's not even close. And I think too, just the muscle memory of what we do and not having to think and just now going and playing and reacting more consistently for those guys is going to be a big jump for them. And then I just think from a technical standpoint, those guys know what they had to get better at, what we asked them to do, and so, they're trying to master their craft as well. So I think all those things combined, I just think it's going to be night and day different for them.
You've talked about the goals that you have and don't have, but 44% on third downs last year and 60% in red zone touchdowns. Is there a percentage sweet spot where things are working as intended?
Oh, yeah. I mean, us as coaches have all these stats and goals and things that we can emphasize with our guys. I mean, there's certainly some situational things that we know you got to always strive to be better at. But just in general, like his question earlier, I mean, we don't bog them down with just a bunch of stat stuff.
With CD in the spring, he was challenged to make a big jump, and it seemed like he made significant strides. Where did you see the biggest improvement for him?
I think this spring, I think just really seeing it start to slow down for him. It was probably the first time I really felt like it was really starting to slow down from a communication standpoint to what he's supposed to be looking at from reads and then just simply executing the play. To me, I know that's kind of a big picture deal, but this was probably the first time that I really saw that. So expect that to take another big step here in fall camp and as we get into the season. But I certainly saw that this spring with him.
Here's the takeaways from Chris Denson in the first spring. At least in the spring game, the poise was what kind of jumps out with him.
He is. He's a poised kid. He's not rattled. He's not fazed by much. If he is, he doesn't show it very well, or he doesn't show it. And I think he's just a kid that wants to be great. He's put in a ton of work this summer. So I'm excited about him and his development. But, yeah, I mean, he's some of the intangible things is definitely what you love about Chris Denson. All right.
Miles for Coach Riley.
Good to go?